Hello, LetsagoAshton here, and today we are going to learn how to use every single redstone component. I'm not kidding you. We are going to do every single one, and there is more than you think. If we look through here, we have to go through all of these. And I'm playing in the 1.17 snapshot, so we also have the lightning rod and the skull sensor. So, let's start. Here we have redstone dust, the classic of redstone. It will give an output of power depending on what powers it. I actually have it in my saved toolbar here. So, if it's flicked by a lever, it'll give a power output of 15. Fill out 15 here. Is that powered? If it is powered by a repeater, it will also give out an output of 15. Button, 15. And actually, the only way that it will give a power output of something different, I think, I'm not thinking this through, is if a comparator powers it. Now, I'm pretty sure there's probably other ways, but still. Let's see. Okay. And look, so if we have a container like a dispenser, it'll give a power output of 0 until we put something on the inside of it. When we put something on the inside of it, it will compare how much is in it compared to how much can be in it, and it will give an output of that. So if we put one thing in there, it'll give a power output of 1. If we put 9 stacks in there, it'll give a power output of 15. Now, there are many other ways, but I'll show you how it interacts with redstone with all the other redstone things. So here, we have the repeater. It will take even the least strong signals, and it will emit a power output of 15. Now, it can also be used to add delay. Like if we make it 4, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many ticks. A tick is 1/20th of a second. And see how it takes longer to unpower and depower? I mean, unpower and power. We can use this to make it take longer. Now, yeah, it can also be used to hard power a block. Hard powering is different from soft powering. If we put redstone dust like this, you see if we power this, it won't power this. But if we hard power the block with a repeater, it will give us output. This can also be reversed. Now, we have the dispenser. What the dispenser does is it will dispense out any item in the unique way that it can be dispensed out. Let's say we have a snowball. Now if we just put an item that can't be dispensed, it will just drop it out. But if we put something that can fire, like a snowball, it'll fire it like this. Now this works with a lot of things, but yeah. Now, I actually forgot about this, but there is a counterpart called the dropper. What the dropper does is no matter what is on the inside of it, it will drop it out in item form, no matter what it is. It could be a snowball. This one it fires out. This one, it just drops it. Ready to be picked up. Now, here, we have the note block. What the note block does is it will play a note. And it can go up in higher pitches anytime you right click it, but eventually it'll loop back around. Now, it doesn't matter what it's on. With sandstone, it makes that clicking sound. In the air, it makes that sound. And there's a bunch of other things, like if you do emeralds, or if you do gravel, it'll make different pitches. Like the emerald, what it does, it will make a ding sound. I can't really explain it. Just like an arcade video game style beep. This one will do like a chink, and that's the note block. And it'll be powered by anything, so you could make like a minecart rail with it. But we'll get on that later on. Here we have one of the best things in redstone, which is the piston. It is the most important because it can use to move blocks. It can be used to move blocks back and forth. Now, the sticky piston, when powered, it will push it out, and when depowered, it will retract it. But if it has a one-tick pulse, let's say from a repeater, or just a one-tick pulse, it's hard to recreate. Give me a second. There you go. It'll spit out its block and not retract it. The piston, however, it'll just push out the block and won't retract it. Now these can be used to make doors. You could power these pistons and these to make a door. Now this can be used to make giant, like 100 times 100 sized piston doors. But this is just an example. Now, here we have TNT. Now, if we go over here, because, TNT, when given a redstone pulse, it will explode into a pretty big crater. Now, this crater will vary depending on how explosive blocks are. Like obsidian cannot be destroyed by TNT, but dirt has a very low blast resistance, and it'll break like super easily. Now, and you can also light it in a couple other ways, like with a flint and steel, or basically if fire's on it. If you put a fire on it, if you actually shift and then right click it, it'll put a fire. But if there's a fire on it, it'll eventually light. Give it a second. Give it a second. Also, how does this make sense? A fire is on top of TNT. You know what? Never mind. It'll eventually light. Now, here we have the lever. What the lever will do is, let's go earlier here, it will give a power output of 15 and it can be flipped on or off. Now, wait, I wonder what this lever does. Why? Yeah, I made it blow up. Okay, so here we have the pressure plate. There's actually a couple variants of this, but the pressure plate, when something is standing on it, it'll give a power output of 15. Now that's with the wooden one. The wooden one, if you drop any item on it, it'll also give a power output of 15. But if we get a stone pressure plate, it'll still give a power output of 15, but only when an entity is standing on it, like an AI mob. If we put an item on it, no output. Now, let's see, there's also the weighted pressure plates. Let's see, the gold and iron one. I kind of forget what these do. Okay, so I think this one gives a stronger output depending on how many mobs are on it. The gold one, I forget what that one does too. I really need to educate myself. I'm not sure, but that's a vague idea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, the redstone torch is actually really important as well, because when the block it's on gets powered, it will unpower, which can invert signals. Like, let's say this lever is on, that redstone dust is off. If this lever is off, this redstone dust is on. Very important. And you could also make a redstone clock. If you get the redstone torch, put it on the side of the block with redstone, and then make the torch power the block above it, and make the redstone dust that's powering depower the torch, making the infinite loop. Now eventually, the torch will burn out because it's been on and off too many times. You can see, to do that, just break the block above it, or break the redstone. There you go. Now here we have the trapdoor. It's like the least redstone things, but it still is redstone stuff. If it gets powered, it will go up or down. Now, there's also the iron variant. Let's see, where is it? There it is. That, when powered, it can only be powered. It can't be right-clicked to be opened. Now, here we have the fence gate. The fence gate is another non-redstone thing. When it gets powered, let's see, it will open and close. Now, this can actually be useful because, hold on, let's get a carpet and a block. It can be used to make an invisible doorway, sorta. So let's see, if we put a carpet on here, let's see. Look, we can't get through, but when we flick this lever, we can. See? Can't get through? Can get through. Because this is 1.5 blocks tall when it's closed, but when it's open, it can't be touched at all. Now you can actually sneak over this, so 1-block mods and players that are smart enough to sneak can still get through this doorway. Now, here we have the redstone lamp. The redstone lamp, when powered, it'll give a light source of 15, and it takes 2 ticks to turn off. It's more just like a lamp than anything, and it can be used to decorate. Okay, now here we have the tripwire hook. Now the tripwire hook by itself is not actually useful at all. It needs to have string and another tripwire hook to function. So we place them 1 block apart, and there we go. And what this will do is it'll give a power output when somebody is on it, an entity is on it. Now, here we have another important thing, the button. The button will power a redstone dust for a little bit of time. There's also the stone variant. Let's see, stone. That will power for less time. So it powers for 15 ticks, and the stone powers for 10. Now, the trap chest. This is quite easily to notice a trap. What it will do is when it's open, it'll give, wait. No, I did it right. It will give a power output. See how that redstone dust is powered? Here, I'll make a redstone lamp so you see the other. So when you open this chest, the redstone lamp activates. And you could hook this into a piston, so it retracts the blocks under you into a lava pit. Now this is the daylight sensor. The daylight detector, it can detect daylight. And depending on what time of day it is, it'll give a power output from 0 to 15. Now, since it's noon, because it's a no time advancement world, it will give a power output of 15. But let's say it's like you just slept in a bed and it's morning. It'll give a power output less. Now, we also have night mode. It does the same, but just with night. When it's nighttime, it'll go with power output. Another bonus for decoration people is it kind of looks like a solar panel. Now, here we have the redstone block. It'll give a power output of 15, and it can actually be moved by pistons. So let's see, this redstone is not powered. If we move it, it will get powered. Now, this redstone block is also useful because in conjunction with something like this, let's see, we get a piston here. This is actually kind of a bug thing that got implemented as a feature. So let's see, put that there, and then get some. Now this can be used for flying machines because, let's see, when pushed into a block thing, it will, like, it can power pistons through blocks. So let's see. Dang it, I didn't do this right. You know what, never mind, just trust me. Look up flying machines and they have redstone blocks in them. Now this is a very, very, very important thing for storage systems. Now if we just get a chest, it will move items and can pick up items. So let's say we throw a redstone lamp, it'll go into the hopper, and since the hopper is pointing towards the chest, it will go into the chest. So, now if we power this with a redstone block, it can't pick up items, and it won't move items into chests and stuff. Now this is extremely useful because you can actually chain them together, and they go into each other. Oh, why did I not? Oh, no, wait, there it is. The trap chest is powering the hopper, so that's why. So, oh, I put the dropper up the line. Never mind. Now the observer is actually pretty interesting. It will detect when an object changes state in front of it. So if we place a button, it will give a power output. Now it's hard to see because it's a 1-tick pulse. So let's see. See how it's powered? And when the button gets unpowered, it gives another output. Now this can do with multiple things like a piston moving. Let's see. Now this is actually extremely useful in flying machines because it can detect when a piston moves and then power the piston again, and it can actually move. Hold on, I built this wrong. So you put the sticky piston there, sticky piston there, and then we put the observer there, and the observer there, and there you go, flying machine. Oh no. Whenever I break the block, it always doesn't do it right. I really need to build my flying machines better. There we go, flying machine. And it's actually quite loud, so let's break this thing. It powers the piston, which pushes this piston and this observer, and powers this one and retracts it, and it does an infinite loop. Now, here we have the comparator. Now, I showed you earlier, it will detect when something is on the inside of it. I don't know why I demonstrated this earlier, but still. Now the lectern can be used to hold a book and quill. So if we place this book and quill on it, you see it will go on it, and we could read it. Now it can only be used to read it. Now if we take the book, if we write on the inside of it, let's see. It will give a power output depending on what page it is on. Now let's see, since it's on page 1 of 1, that's the max, it'll give a max output. Can we break this? Now, if we make it another page, it'll give a lesser output. So let's see, where'd that book go? There we go. Let's see. There we go. Now it has 2 pages. So if we go on page 1, it'll give a lesser output. If we go on page 2, it'll give a max output. Now the target block, it'll give a power output depending on how close to the center you shoot it with. Like you could use snowballs. Let's see. snowballs. You could also use a bow and arrow to shoot it, like snowball. So let's say we hit the very edge. It gives us less power output. If we hit a bullseye, it gives a max power output. Now this is actually, if you've seen this in other redstone contraptions that don't involve snowballs or arrows, it's because it's a solid block and redstone goes into it and it doesn't interact with a lot of things. Now this is especially useful because let's say this is just any other block and we have redstone line going through here. And if we power this, the piston doesn't get powered, but if we change it out for a target block, it does because the redstone is going into it. Now, here we have the lightning rod. The lightning rod will give the redstone output when it's struck by lightning. I know, it doesn't sound very useful, but still. Now, if we summon a lightning bolt here, let's just see. Oh, I need to turn my cap lock off. Let's see, summon lightning bolt. You see how it gave a redstone output? Now, the skulk sensor is all the rage right now in the redstone community because it can detect when movement happens. Like if I place a block, it will give a power. Now it can also detect trap doors and it will give a redstone output for that. So basically, we have wireless redstone. So if we put that there. Oh, that's too far away. These things are so annoying. So they send power outputs to each other. Now we could actually put wool to stop the signal being sent. So if we put wool there, they won't detect each other. Now, that is all of the redstone things in this video. Now I definitely forgot some. I definitely know I did. Let's see. Let's go through it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't forget anything. Wait, isn't there some redstone things that are not in that category? Like rails? Okay, I'll just go through rails real quick. Okay. So, here we have the powered rail. When it is powered, it will push a minecart at incredible speeds. The detector rail, when a minecart is on it, it will give a power output. See, the minecart's on it, and it will power this, but when it gets off of it, it will depower. Now, the activator rail, that will do is when it's powered, it will push any entities that are in the minecart out of the minecart. Let's get a rail, and put this like this, get a minecart. And let's say we go on this minecart, when we hit the activator rail, we get kicked out. And the minecart actually shakes when it's on it. Now, I'm pretty sure that is all the redstone things. Look at this mess of a world right now. Anyway, so this has been LetsagoAshton, and bye!